welcome to our book club. This is, what are we going to call it? Episode 1?
Episode 1, yeah, I like that.
Great. Yeah, feeding back. We are reading Garden City, if you didn't already know.
Yeah.
Helen, tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, so you'll know that we've been launching a young adults stream of Onelife, and part of that has been our book club, and you may well have voted on our poll on which book we should read. It was between this and The Emotionally Healthy Leader, but this is what the people asked for, Garden City by John Mark Comer. So we've been reading this, and January we've been reading part 1 of this book, which has been Work. That's what it's been called. And we want to hear about what you guys have thought about it. And so we just thought we'd kind of share a bit of how we've been getting on with the book. And I know you've been enjoying getting back into reading.
Yeah, so I, like probably a lot of you, finished my degree having read far more than I could want to, and intensively, as I was late on deadline hand-ins and stuff. And I think actually finishing university and moving into something where I haven't had to read, like I literally haven't had to write essays, I actually found it really hard to get back into. But it's been great. This is actually a bit embarrassingly like the first proper book 6 months later than my degree ending I've started reading, and it's been so great. But it's been a challenge, I'm not going to lie, to get the motivation, but we're getting there.
We are, and please, if you haven't started reading yet, it's a really easy book to read, and so you do have time to catch up, and we would love you to join us if you haven't already.
Oh, 100%.
And we just want to share a few of our highlights of the book so far, what we've been getting out of it, what we feel like God's been saying to us about it, or maybe challenging us on. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure, just love to. So I was really challenged just from the outset. So obviously, Garden City, big focus is on work and why we work and the purpose behind it. And just I think this one quote from quite early on, straight in like the beginning, where it says, "It's true that some of us look to what we do for identity and a sense of self-worth, as in, I'm a photographer, I'm a designer, I'm a pastor, I'm a teacher, as if what we do defines who we are." And I think that is so the mantra of our culture today, in this cultural moment, see what I did, of who I am. And I think so often we can be like, oh, what am I doing? The second question we meet someone is, what do you do for life when you're not here? What are you doing this? And just a real realigning of what it is, of who I am. And it isn't necessarily about that, but that obviously still has value. So that's what just one of the first few of many things that I picked up so far.
So good, so good. I think it's in chapter 3, he talks about this idea about being hardwired to do certain things, and it's like this idea of vocational calling, but kind of taking that out of where we've kind of assumed that that's just for church pastors or people that are preaching or working for churches basically, and actually that some people will have that real call to be a barista, or he was talking about being a car salesman, or all those kind of jobs as well, and just actually what are we hardwired to do, what is it that brings us life, what is it we find joy in, and at the end of that chapter, I think it's chapter 3, he asks these questions for you to reflect on about what is it that you love doing, you know, what brings you life, what are you good at, what are people encouraging you about, and those kind of questions. And I just find that really encouraging, and I guess for me, I love my job. No. But just like I think, you know, one of the things I love doing is speaking, communicating, and that's a huge part of my job. And so actually I think, do you know what, that I'm in the right place, which probably some of us will feel like, other people might not. But I know you've been on a journey as well.
Absolutely. So synopsis, backstory of Becky. I just finished university and I'm currently undertaking a 1-year internship with Onelife, which obviously I have to say, but it is actually great. But I'm just in that processes of what have I been made to do? Like, what is this ingrained part of me? Which is like the design of my life, and just discovering that. And as I've been reading this, I've been able to reflect and process a bit more about me, which has been very exciting. And watch this space. Who knows?
We'll see. We'll keep you updated about his life story. But we're going to be putting up some questions on our Instagram stories for you guys to answer if you want to comment on this video. What's God been speaking to you about? What's really stuck out to you in this first section of the book, in this work section? Do you feel like you're in the place that you're thriving, or maybe not? We want this to be really interactive, so please do get involved if you have been reading it, and if you haven't, please do join us. And next month, so throughout February, I was about to say March, I'm a month ahead. Throughout February, we're going to be reading part 2 of the book, which is all about rest. So a really hot topic at the moment, all about rest. How do we rest? What does that look like for us? And we're really excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Something I 100% don't get right, so ready to learn all the wisdom.
Always.
Yeah, great.
Wow.
Oh, thanks so much for joining us.
Yes.
Garden City, part 1 done. Watch the
See you
skits
next
for more.
time.